Imagine this. You made a mistake in the past, a mistake that has haunted you for years. You try to forget it. You run away from it. You build a new life as if it never existed. But the past, it doesn't disappear. It stands there, watching you in silence. That is the life of Amir in the Kite Runner. He had a seemingly beautiful childhood with his best friend Hassan soaring kites across the Kabul sky. But in just one moment of cowardice, Amir lost himself. He betrayed the only friend who was always loyal to him. And worse, he kept silent in the face of his friend's pain. That silence, it killed him every day. He left Afghanistan, seeking a new life, richer, safer. But success cannot buy peace. There are some mistakes that cannot be washed away, except by confrontation. Then one day, Amir received a call. On the other end, there was only one sentence. There is a way to be good again. There is still a way to become a decent person again. That was the moment he understood running away was not the path. To truly live, a person must return to the place where they lost themselves. And that is also the message I want to talk about today. Stop running. Confront and heal. Only when you dare to confront the past, you can bring peace for yourself. Hello everyone, I'm Matthew, living and working in New York. It's wonderful to be walking with you today through the streets of this city that never sleeps, where neon lights illuminate the skyscrapers, where every step is a rhythm of contemplation. Amidst this bustling life, sometimes we need to stop, listen to stories that can touch the depths of the soul. Today, I want to share with you a book that has haunted me for many years, The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. This is not just a story, but a 3-decade-long verdict of conscience, where a person is forced to return to the place where he betrayed himself, to reclaim the lost soul. Context: Kabul, a time lost. The story opens in Kabul in the 1970s, and Afghanistan completely different from the image of war-torn ruin that we often see today. It was an ancient, peaceful Kabul with tree-lined streets, bustling markets, and above all, a sky always radiant with the colors of kites. In that setting, we meet Amir, the wealthy Pashtun boy living in a magnificent villa with his father, Baba, a successful, reputable, but also extremely strict merchant. That house also housed two people whose destinies would forever intertwine with Amir's: Ali, a loyal servant, and Hassan, Ali's son, also Amir's only friend. Hassan belonged to the Hazara tribe, a minority often discriminated and scorned. Yet a strange friendship formed between the two boys, overcoming all class barriers. Hassan, with his almond-shaped eyes, a scar on his upper lip, and a pure heart, was always ready to sacrifice for Amir. He often spoke the phrase that would later become an unquenchable obsession: "For you, 1,000 times over. Because of you, I can do this 1,000 times." But there was always an invisible wall between them. Amir yearned for his father's love, while Baba seemed to show special attention to Hassan. Amir wanted to prove himself, to become the son who made his father proud, and that very yearning led to a never-ending chain of tragedies. In the winter of 1975, the traditional kite-fighting competition in Kabul became the fateful turning point in Amir's life. It was not just a game, but a symbol of honor, of pride. Amir won. He cut the last string, the last kite in the sky. The joy of victory made him scream with delight. And Hassan, as usual, promised to go retrieve the trophy kite for Amir. "Bring it back to me," Amir said. "For you, 1,000 times over," Hassan smiled in reply. But that kite became an exchange bought with blood and tears. In a desert alley, Hassan was blocked by children led by Asef, a wicked, racist man. Asef demanded the kite, but Hassan resolutely refused. "The kite belongs to Amir. I will not give it to you." And then, in the darkest corner of that alley, the crime occurred. Amir, looking for Hassan, witnessed the entire scene. He saw Asef and his accomplices rape Hassan. He saw the pained but resigned eyes of his friend. He heard the cries, and instead of rushing in to protect Hassan, Amir turned his back and fled. I could have screamed. I could have run into the alley and defended Hassan. Or I could have run away. I chose the latter. I ran away because I was a coward. That moment was not just a betrayal of friendship, but a betrayal of Amir's own conscience. He traded Hassan's loyalty for the kite, a symbol of his father's approval. But that victory became meaningless when it was purchased with shame. After that event, nothing was the same. Hassan remained loyal, still serving Amir, but the innocence in his eyes was gone. Amir could not tolerate Hassan's presence, the person who always reminded him of his sin. Therefore, he committed one more sin by setting a trap, accusing Hassan of stealing. Strangely, Hassan, despite being innocent, confessed. Ali knew the truth, and he decided to take Hassan away from that house. That was the last time Amir saw Hassan. He thought that with Hassan's departure, the haunting would end. But in reality, it had just begun. No one can outrun themselves. In 1979, war broke out. The Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan. Amir and Baba were forced to leave their homeland, abandoning everything, their home, memories, and unresolved mistakes. They became refugees, crossing the border into Pakistan in a dangerous fuel truck. Finally, they settled in California, USA. Here, Amir and Baba started a new life from scratch. Baba, once a wealthy merchant, now worked at a gas station. Amir went to college, pursuing his dream of becoming a writer. In America, Amir seemed to get a new start. He met and fell in love with Soraya, a beautiful, intelligent Afghan girl. They married. Baba passed away respected by the Afghan community in the US. Amir published his first novel. Everything seemed to be on a good trajectory. But the truth is, one cannot run from the past by changing geography. There are wounds that are not on the skin, but deep in memory, corroding the soul little by little. Amir lived, but was not truly happy. Success could not buy peace. Every time he saw a kite in the California sky, every time he heard children's laughter, the memory of Hassan flooded back like a nightmare that never ended. The one who sleeps easiest is the one with a clear conscience. As for me, I was the one who never slept peacefully. There is a way to be good again.
In 2001, Amir received a phone call from Pakistan. On the other end was Rahim Khan, his father's closest friend, who had witnessed Amir's entire childhood. Rahim Khan's old, weak voice echoed, "There is a way to be good again. There is still a way to become a decent person." That sentence struck Amir's heart like thunder. After more than 2 decades of running, the door to atonement finally opened. Amir decided to return to Pakistan to meet Rahim Khan. At the dilapidated house in Peshawar, Rahim Khan told Amir the shocking truths. 1. Hassan was not just a friend, but Amir's half-brother, sharing the same father. Baba, the man who always taught about honor and morality, had betrayed his own friend Ali by sleeping with his wife and fathering Hassan. 2. Hassan and his wife had been shot dead by the Taliban right in front of Baba's old house in Kabul. 3. Hassan's son, Sorab, was currently missing, possibly imprisoned and abused by a Taliban commander. Amir sat there paralyzed. His entire life was built on a network of lies. The great father he worshipped also carried terrible sins, and Hassan, his friend, his half-brother, had died in suffering, carrying the secret of their shared bloodline. Rahim Khan looked at Amir, saying, "Save that child, Amir. Save Sorab. That is the only way for you to atone for your mistake. The journey of atonement returned to the most painful place. Amir returned to Afghanistan, a desolate, ruined country under the brutal rule of the Taliban. Kabul was no longer the city of kites, but the city of public executions, of fear and death. After many days of searching, Amir discovered Sohrab was being held in a luxurious house, serving as a dancer for a high-ranking Taliban commander. And that person was none other than Asif, the one who had raped Hassan years ago. In the empty room, the past and present intertwined. Asif recognized Amir immediately. He proposed a deal. Amir had to defeat him in hand-to-hand fight to win Sohrab back. The battle was unequal. Asif beat Amir brutally, breaking his ribs, splitting his lip, crushing his body. But this time, Amir did not run away. He laughed as he received the blows, because each blow was a deserved punishment, a liberation from the guilt that had haunted him for 26 years. Strangely, I felt happy. I don't know why. Maybe because I was getting what I deserved. Maybe because, finally, justice was being served. Sohrab, with the slingshot his father once used, shot Asif in the eye, helping Amir and the boy escape. Salvation comes from action, not words. Amir took Sohrab to Pakistan, but the war was not over. Sohrab, with deep psychological wounds after witnessing his parents' murder and his own abuse, fell into a state of complete silence. The boy did not utter a single word. When Amir announced he would take Sohrab to the US, the boy panicked, thinking he would be sent back to an orphanage. In despair, Sohrab slit his wrists in the bathtub to commit suicide. Although saved, his silence became even deeper. That silence is the most desperate cry in this story, a painful accusation of what war and brutality have inflicted on young souls. After months of struggling with adoption procedures, Amir finally managed to bring Sohrab to the US. In California, Amir and Suraya dedicated all their love to healing the wounds of the boy. But Sohrab remained silent, still distant. One day, at an Afghan festival in San Francisco, Amir saw a kite. Memories flooded back. He bought a kite, went over to Sohrab and said, "I want to tell you about your father, about Hassan." Amir told Sohrab about his brave, loyal father, about the beautiful days in Kabul, about their friendship. And then Amir suggested, "Shall we fly a kite together?" When the kite flew up into the California sky, Amir showed Sohrab how to cut the strings of other kites. And when they cut the last kite, a miracle happened. He bent down to pick up the spool, and when he looked up, I saw something I hadn't seen in months. A smile on Sohrab's face. Not big, not even clear, but it was there. I ran to retrieve the trophy kite, and as I ran, I turned back to look at Sohrab. The boy was looking at me and nodded slightly. "For you, I could do this 1,000 times over," Amir whispered. The circle was finally closed. Message: stop running, confront, and heal. The Kite Runner is not just a story about Afghanistan, about war, or about friendship. It is a story about redemption, about the ability to heal the cracks in the soul. The message Hosseini conveys transcends all borders, cultures, and times. Stop running, confront, and heal. 1. Running away does not erase sin. It only postpones punishment. Amir ran for 26 years. He ran from Afghanistan, ran from memories, ran from the truth. But the guilt still followed him to America, haunting him in his dreams, poisoning every moment of happiness. running away only makes the wound deeper, making healing more difficult. 2. Silence is also a crime. Amir's silence when witnessing Hassan's rape was even more terrifying than Asef's actions, because it was a betrayal from the person called a friend. In life, there are times when our silence in the face of injustice, in the face of others' pain, also becomes complicity with evil. 3. Forgiveness is not forgetting, but not letting the past shackle the present. Amir never forgot what happened. Hassan was dead. Baba was dead. The mistake could not be erased. But finally, Amir learned how to forgive himself, to move forward with the scars. Forgiveness does not mean denying the past, but accepting it, learning from it, and not letting it destroy the future. 4. Salvation comes from action, not words. Amir said many words in his life, lies, excuses, but true salvation only came when he acted, when he returned to Afghanistan, when he confronted Asef, when he adopted Sohrab. Sometimes saving a future generation is as important as saving oneself. Connection to life. If we don't confront, we will repeat. Amir's story reminds us that everyone among us has demons from the past. Perhaps not as serious as Amir's, but surely everyone has things that cause them remorse. An unconfessed lie, a betrayed friend, a missed opportunity, an unsaid apology. If you are carrying a burden of remorse, don't let it kill you slowly. Everyone has a Hassan in their life, a person we once hurt, and everyone has a Sohrab, a responsibility we must face to break the cycle of mistakes. Salvation does not come from prayer, does not come from denial. It comes from concrete action, a sincere apology, a courageous admission, an act of compensation, a decision to change. Don't be afraid to confront the past. The most terrifying thing is not the truth, but giving up and letting the mistake continue to repeat. Like the kite in the Afghan sky, people can only fly when they dare to cut the string tying themselves to the past. Start now, while you still have the chance to say, I won't run anymore. So there it is, mistakes we thought we had buried in the past. But the truth is, what we tried to avoid is what follows us our whole lives. Not because it won't let us go, but because we ourselves lack the courage to face it. Thank you for joining me to the end of this emotional journey. If the story of Amir and Hassan evokes any thoughts in you, please share with me in the comments below.